What do you talk about when you talk about chase movies? You certainly think of great action scenes. Many cuts.
Shooting at us!
Test music playing. But the main thing you get from all the package of action chase movies is not a chase, but mostly confusion. And don't get me wrong, I love these kind of scenes. They are cinema in its most playful and gayful form, but I also think that the master of this genre has nothing to do with action cinema. I'm talking about Juzo Itami, one of the greatest Japanese directors of all time. You probably know him for Tampopo, but each of his films has a unique touch. In his filmography, he satirized Japanese society, cinema history, mixing genres from western to action, and he demolished gender prejudices, using women as strong characters in each of his films. He also anticipated the style of Wes Anderson, with taste for exaggerated acting and sarcastic camera movements. He was revolutionary both for themes and staging, but what I like most in his films is rhythm. All films are journeys from one point to another. In some sense, you can see films as chasing the end of the story, from A to B. But the importance of what comes in between is something few directors realize. It's not uncommon to see films with great, other scenes, but how many of you remember the central act of movies? Chase films try to subvert this. They make the center of the scene meaningful, just because the action is what counts in those kind of movies. But at the same time, it almost seems as if they are solving one problem by creating another. The process of getting to the point becomes as important as the point of arrival. But at the same time, all this action makes them empty. It doesn't add meaning, it subtracts it. Why? What's the main thing about a chase scene? It is not action, not the presence of two vehicles. What counts even in the most dynamic chase is something else. Anticipation. That's what creates suspense and interest.
ポタポタ落ちてくる水の下にコップ置いて水溜めてるとするわね。あんた喉が渇いたからってまだ半分しか溜まってないのに飲んじゃうだろ。これ最低だね。
For example, have a look at this scene from an Italian Job. The iron of the scene and the slower pace compared to other chase scenes makes the skeleton of the scene appear. You don't know what is going to happen. Even a bad chase scene can't help building its rhythm on anticipation. But bad action scenes cannot manage properly the rhythm. And if you cannot manage properly the rhythm of a scene, what is the result? Well, confusion. Confusion gives us the illusion that something is happening. But in reality, we're not getting information from the scene as a whole, only from its beginning or its end, with a mess in the middle. Itami knows that every film and any scene in them is just like a chase. His films are less about the end or the beginning and more about the process of getting from one point to another. That's the essence of great chase cinema, making what's in the middle essential. But he went even deeper. Seeing something in a new context is the moment we really understand it. So Itami takes the skeleton of the chase film and applies it to his dramas and comedies. The action disappears almost completely, but reappears in the rhythm. I mean that even the waiting becomes as dynamic as a chase. Process is more important than result and starting point, and this is very Japanese. In moments of topicality, when all the eyes are on you, everything must stop. Just like before a duel. But the chase is not a mere moment of suspension of the flow of narrative, not a filler action between two dialogues. It is the point of it all. And Itami is also great because he keeps coming up with new visual solutions to metaphorize waiting and anticipation, make them crucial in his stories. This is a clock, for example, a woman waiting for his man to deal with his affair. And the tension of the scene comes from the fact that she is unaware of the affair. It is never a matter of going from one static scene to another static scene, but a matter of showing the process. Showing the process is what creates a rhythm. Because this way you are waiting to find out what is going to happen. And even when no one is literally chasing each other, the pace of the dialogue is that of a chase film. Like the lawyers' verbal
あなた
clashes
様
in
のお名前を
Mimbo.
お聞かせください。
なんで言わすつもりだ。私の名は花岡だよ。
フルネームでお願いします。
バカ野郎。なんで社長がフルネーム言わなきゃならねえんだい。
大金が絡んでおりますし、間違いがあってはなりませんでした。
Itami's cinema is surprising because it succeeds in bringing the playfulness of action cinema to everyday life, and to the humblest act of all, learning. Everyone is learning in Itami's films. How to run a supermarket, how to cook good ramen, or deal with a grief, or get rid of mafia. But as great storytellers always do, Itami offers no consolation or easy shortcuts. Not to the characters, not to the audience. What matters is how things get done, and the process of learning to be better. Learning is a state in which one is neither an expert nor a complete amateur. It is a state of waiting in which things are not yet as we would like them to be, and therefore requires commitment and repeated practice. And in learning lies Itami's humanism, a sense of brotherhood that comes from recognizing each other's limitations, and the fight against the cheaters and the arrogant who implicitly believe that learning can be bypassed.